The Edmonton Oilers could be in trouble regarding their prospect pool after a very worrisome weekend in Penticton with the rookie tournament. We'll get into all that and more today on Oilers Digest, all the rookie breakdowns, all the news, all the rumors heading into Oilers training camp. But first, we are on the road to 2,000 subscribers. We're very close to 1,900 subscribers, but to get to 2,000 before the start of the season would be excellent. We'd like to thank each and every one of you for helping us along the journey as we get into the Oilers season, one that is very exciting. What wasn't very exciting, though, was the recent rookie tournament in Penticton. I know lots of Oiler fans were excited to see Matt Savoy in an Oiler jersey for the first time. I know many were hoping to see Bo Akey in an Oilers jersey, to see him sort of continue his rise as an Oiler prospect, but of course he missed the entire weekend getting ready for the Barrie Colts season in the OHL. But you can see there, lost to Vancouver 2-0, lost to Calgary 3-1, and lastly, another 2-0 shutout at the hands of the Winnipeg Jets. So again, very worrisome. Only one goal scored in 3 games. After hearing that the Oilers are bringing possibly their deepest forward group to the tournament in the history of the Penticton rookie tournament, to only end up with 1 goal in 3 games, again, very worrisome there. Again, shut out 2 times there. Not the greatest of results there after the weekend. And then Colin Chalk, who's the Bakersfield Condors head coach, but of course he was the rookie head coach for this tournament. After the Jets game, he says it's the process, and that's what it's about at these camps. It's about moments of building to try and be a National League player. So of course, some silver linings from Colin Chalk here. Again, it's not about the result; it's about how the players perform, not just with each other, but in the heat of the moment, when it's not an actual NHL game, but of course they're facing other future potential NHLers, and it's about taking the experience and taking that with you back to junior, back to the AHL, back to the ECHL, and using that to your advantage. There are some bright sides. I mean, it's not all doom and gloom here after the weekend. On the bright side, this comes from BM at Oilers Nation. We did get a good look at the team's promising prospects. Matthew Savoy showed flashes of the skill that made him a top draft pick for the Sabres before landing here with us. And Max Wanner turns some heads on the blue line, looking like a guy who's ready to take the next step in his development. If nothing else, knowing that those 2 prospects were able to separate themselves where no one else could was the exact result and what we needed from them. Matt Moswich here at Edmonton Future Watch here. He had some scouting reports here. Matt Savoy. Savoy was the marquee name coming in, and I thought he delivered. His two-way game is what stood out. He was excellent on the PK, pressuring pucks and playing with an active stick. He will look much better playing with NHL talent, and that just goes without saying there. I mean, he wasn't given the best of line mates in Penticton, so he was able to do what he could. As you can see there, the rookie camp roster there, not exactly the deepest defensive pool there. Of course, Bo Akey and Max Wander were the only 2 drafted defensemen on that list. Of course, Bo Akey, like I mentioned earlier, did miss the tournament, so it's Max Wander and then a bunch of camp invites. I mentioned Frankie Morelli before the tournament as a name to stand out from Bruce Kurlock, the Oilers expert on prospects. But other than that, again, not the deepest defense pool, and even forwards too. I mean, only 1 goal scored. Again, it's just pretty much development at all. And then also from Matt Moswich, Connor Clattenburg was also a name that I looked after, and apparently others did too. He came away impressed with Clattenburg. He showcased his mean physical skill, forechecking hard and playing strong along the boards. The upside is limited, but I understand management thought process with this pick. Of course, he did have a few fights, and that's really something you need from a young spark plug with Connor Clattenburg, 6'2", 197, but willing to drop the gloves at a moment's notice. And also William Nichols here. He is the 7th round pick from the Oilers in this past draft, teammates with Sam O'Reilly on the London Knights in the OHL, and there's a scouting report here after the tournament. His game is one built on fundamentals. He is a great skater who always seems to know where to be on the ice and makes the right reads. His 6-foot winner created turnovers, battled for pucks, got in front of shots, and used his stick effectively. He also dished out a couple beautiful passes to create chances for his teammates. It's hard to think of something he didn't do at this point over the 3 games outside of getting on the score sheet, which could say you could say that for anybody except for Carl Berglund, who was the only Oiler to get on the score sheet. and it adds on here, which could be said for nearly every Oiler prospect in Penticton. You can see there the goalies, Brett Broku, Nathaniel Day, and Connor Unger. All three had exceptional games in net. I mean, they can't score goals, right? They can only stop them, and you can't do much in net if your offense doesn't produce for you. Nathaniel Day, in the first game against the Vancouver Canucks, I thought he performed the best out of those three goaltenders. Bruce Kurlock here, back to him. He said there are not many certainties one can take out of the Oilers' performance at the Young Stars Classic. The one I can speak to is the organization needs to upgrade their prospect depth on defense. Given the aggressiveness of the new group this summer, I bet it happens. And of course, the Oilers management with Jeff Jackson. They are, they're getting their prospect pool back together. Of course, Roby Järventie acquired from the Ottawa Senators there, and of course Matt Savoy, the main two prospects brought in. Ty Emberson, he's on the cusp between an Oiler prospect and NHLer. One could say he is an NHLer full time. I expect him to be this year on the second pairing, barring any other additional move before the season starts. But yeah, the Oilers, they are lacking in the cupboards, not just forward-wise, but defensively as well. Of course, Stephen Ellis here of the Daily Faceoff. Going into the tournament, no one was expecting the Oilers to have the best prospect pool because, of course, the Oilers do have one of the worst prospect pools in the league, even with the additions of guys like Sam O'Reilly, Matt Savoy, and Roby Järventie, and that's not a surprise to anyone who follows this organization closely. They're built to win now, and they're willing to move on from the future to make it work, and that's what it boils down to. The Oilers, when you're in win now mode, you're willing to get rid of whatever you can. That's exactly what Ken Holland did in his move to try to get the Oilers a cup. I know Reed Schaefer, the Oilers' first round pick in 2022, I believe, he was traded for the Matthias Ekholm there. So they were willing to get rid of their top prospects to make the team better. And the Oilers, when it comes to these tournaments, they're not exactly bringing a top tier squad compared to the other three teams in the tournament. I know Winnipeg, they have guys like Brad Lambert, Vancouver, Atu Ratu. In Calgary, there they have their prospects, but again, the Oilers, they are in win now. I know many people are saying this tournament doesn't really mean anything. It's just to see where the prospects are at, and that's what it boils down to. I mean, and down the road, there are people in the Oilers front office who are paid to pay attention to the future and their prospect pool. But at the time when the team is the main Oiler team is performing on the ice, I'm not exactly expecting anything big from the prospect pool. I mean, I'm excited to see Matt Savoy. You might see him in an Oiler jersey later on this year, who knows, or even Max Wanner if he overperforms in Bakersfield, and that's exactly what he did last year. As you can see there, the Oilers not exactly stocked up on draft picks there. Of course, they did trade their 2025 first rounder to trade up for Sam O'Reilly, but they still have their 2026 first rounder. They have all their picks from 2026, and then they are missing out on their 2027 fourth rounder. As for what's next, the real test for some of these young guys begins this week. Yes, preseason does start on September 22nd, this upcoming Sunday against the Winnipeg Jets, and then the split squad on the 23rd against the Calgary Flames. After returning to Edmonton at some point Monday night, a select group will head to the Oilers' main camp, kicking off Tuesday morning. We will have coverage with that, with fitness testing and medicals at Rogers Place for these prospects. Being invited to camp with the big dogs is the next step in trying to crack the NHL roster, or exactly finding out how far away they are from getting there. It's one thing to look good against your peers, but it is another to battle for a spot against veteran NHLers. You can see last year from the first Oilers preseason game against the Winnipeg Jets, you did see some younger names there invited to the main camp, like Xavier Bourgault, Bo Akey, Ben Gleason, and again, some other veteran numbers, because of course there are the veteran minimum in preseason games, but you will expect to see some young players in the first couple preseason games for the Edmonton Oilers. Let me know down in the comments what you think about the Oilers prospect pool. Are you worried? Are you not that worried? Are you just excited for the main season to start? Are you ready for hockey to start? Because I am. Let me know down in the comments. Have yourselves a fantastic day. I'm Matt.